what's up, guys and gals? Julian RH15 here, back again with another video. And today, doing something a little bit different here, something I think everyone who wants to make any content on YouTube should know. It's basically creating 3D thumbnails in Sourcefilmaker. Now there's an unlimited amount of videos to tell you how to use Sourcefilmaker. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm a dummy, right? And I wanted nothing to do with this, but I took the time to learn it, and it's actually pretty simple. I'm gonna move over to Blender eventually because I'm learning Blender, but I know Filmmaker at least to make 3D thumbnails, not so much for animation. That's another. I'm probably gonna learn that another time. But using Sourcefilmaker to make 3D thumbnails is actually really easy. So Sourcefilmaker is a Steam application that you can use. It's open source from Valve. They made a TF2. I believe they also made Gmod and Half-Life. Probably the best games known to mankind on PC. That's them. They released their animation program, and it's really user-friendly, to be honest. That's why I did it, or learned it at least. Look, I have 6 hours on it already. But the main reason Sourcefilmaker is such easygoing is because if you want to get certain models to use to pose for your 3D thumbnails, and I'm gonna use Marvel Rivals because I titled this how to make 3D thumbnails in Marvel Rivals. You go to Workshop on Steam. And by the way, the application is free. I don't think I said that. The Sourcefilmaker is free. So what's cool about Workshop is you just click the green button called subscribe, and you just download the model. And sometimes you get even more on top of that. You get some skins, you get props. And also, the best thing about this is when you download a model, it most of the time comes with a fully rigged skeleton. That means you can change and move stuff around to your liking, so you don't have to rig it yourself, which that's my problem with Blender. But I think there's steps to do that process easier that I'm just too slow to learn right now, but we'll learn eventually, right? But hey, today's not about me. Let me stop yapping. Let me show you guys how to make a Marvel Rivals thumbnail. First thing you want to do is actually download a map, right? The map is the first thing you want to do. Download any map you like or see here, just anywhere really. I downloaded some beach map that had good lighting. You just have to load a map in order for Sourcefilmaker to work. I'll show you that momentarily. But yeah, you need to download any map. I prefer something with good lighting. Don't choose a map with like hella things going on so you can render properly. And sometimes it does crash on you. Just download a simple map as your background if you want. Next thing you want is, since you're making a Marvel Rivals thumbnail, you need some Marvel Rivals assets. Or models, I should say. And I'm stupid. There we go. The Workshop always has something new. So, the example, this Thor Love and Thunder skin is perfect. It's actually a perfect example because I actually use this skin a lot. So I'm going to click download on that. I'm assuming it's already rigged because I know the person who made this already. So yeah, you click subscribe, you download it, boom, you're good to go. Now you have your map and your model. You can download other stuff if you want, but we're just going to use this for right now. I believe Sourcefilmaker is about 15 gigabytes, so that's how much space you need. All right, so this is the first thing you're going to see. Well, the first thing you're going to see is going to be no map loaded, but for me, it will be no session. If it says no session, because you have to create a session, and boom, here we go. Title it whatever you want. Put it anywhere you can find it easily, and I put the frame rate to 60 just for my liking. Click create, and now you see there's no map loaded, but there's a timeline, which that means you're good to go. So, no map loaded. How do you load a map, Julian? I got you. Right click on the black area here and scroll down till you see load map. Shocking. So when you go to loading your map, make sure this tab is on Workshop. It will not find their download a map otherwise. You click Workshop, find the map you want, click on it, and open. Give it some time. It will take a second because it is a whole map. That's why I said to download an easy looking map, nothing too crazy, because this program is old, but it's so easy to use. I see why they did their animation work on it. And would you look at that, the map loaded in. Now, before you start anything, go right click on the bottom of the primary viewport and switch your camera to work camera. Now when you click on the map, you can zoom around with WASD. If you want to go faster, you hold down the shift button. Don't mind the errors, this is just part of the map. So yeah, that's how you fly around the map and move. So we're gonna get another viewport, and to do that, you go to Windows, and you scroll down where you see secondary viewport, you click on that. There'll be this tiny box over here. Same thing you want to do over here, you want to right click until you get to camera 1 to create a new camera. It's simply scroll down to this window box and then create new camera. And camera 1 will be your thumbnail area, so it won't move with your work camera. Look, I can even probably show you. So yeah, as you can see, so the thing I'm moving right here is our main camera of how the thumbnail is going to be at the end and how you're gonna export it into a PNG. So you can see it on. It looks funny. It looks like it's a 2-player game. I don't know. I don't usually use 3D background for my thumbnails because most of my videos are on Rivals and there hasn't been any Marvel Rivals maps loaded. Hopefully there will be soon. That'll be cool. So when I load in a map, I usually don't use it really, except for the lighting, because the lighting on this map is really good. So what I usually do is import our first model, which I suggest you guys should do too for future Photoshop and editing, whatever you use for your thumbnails. So you want to go back to the Steam Workshop and you want to search up green screen. You want to look for a green screen model. Any of these will do. Just don't download a map like I did. It gives you a headache. But yeah, download a green screen model so you can import that, and then that'll be your background because it's easier to export. So you download a green screen model off of Steam because once you're done posing your 3D model, you want to have access to it in a variety of ways. So use the green screen for your video editing software or Photoshop. They're both good with the background color green for easy cleanup. So let's import our green screen. And to do that, click on the plus button top left and you go to new model. Just like to load in the map, you want to make sure the tab is on Workshop. Look at that. And you might be saying to yourself, Julian, it's on the ground. Let me show you guys how to move your models. So to move your models, first you got to go with timeline and then click on motion editor. And then the two you're going to be using the most is move and rotate on top of the timeline here. So once you click those, you hold control and you get to see at least all the pinpoints for the model. For this, it's simply just one. So you click on that and now you can move it around. Look at that. I just realized we lost our secondary viewport. Hold up, guys. There we go. It's back. I usually have it on my second screen here, but for this presentation, I guess I could put it like shit. I guess I could put it right there. All right, so we're gonna rotate this so we can cover the screen to our right here. So to do that, click the rotate button, find the axis, maybe not that one. We're just gonna move this thing forward, cover up the screen. It's all green. Pretty simple. All right, so now that we got our giant green screen here, we get to import our actual model for our character. And it's the same thing before. Create a new model, go to Workshop, and find your asset. All right, maybe we're not gonna use the Thor model. It's kind of weird. They split it up in like multiple parts. So we're gonna scrap the Thor model actually. All right, so who doesn't like Spider-Man? First, we're gonna fix his camera because we are looking down at him. I don't want to look down at him. So right here should be good. And to move Spider-Man, once again, you hold control, you find the point, it's usually at the bottom. And then we're just gonna move him up real quick so we have him in frame. So yeah, most of your models will come, kind of T-posing like this sometimes, depending on the model and how like structured it is. So, all right, so now that you have your model, you have your background to whatever you want, the 3D map or the green screen. Now we're gonna start posing. And you really don't want to use the move one too much unless it's for the mouth. And in this case, we don't have a mouth here, which is good. Easier for me. You want to click the rotate button for most of the stuff because rotate is what makes posing very easy, and how to pose really is with the rotate button. So you hit control. So there's two different types of points really for each 3D model. You have the long point here, which is the arm. This one I use a lot. This one's easy. one, moves the entire arm. And also there's these smaller points, and they're all labeled, which is really cool, about like a specific part of the body and not just like the whole thing. And if you want to move multiple bones all at once, you hold down control and then hold down left click and then make a lasso around the parts you want to move, and it will all move together. You see how moving makes this so wonky? But if I go rotate, it looks a little bit better. And listen, there's a lot of points you can move, even with this model. Like, there's so many different points that just you wouldn't think to move, but you could. And now you're good to pose the thing. You're pretty much good at this point to go ahead and start playing around with your model. Just remember, your work camera isn't your final outcome. It is your camera one. And remember, there's different ways to rotate too. You can select one line and rotate it, or you can just get the whole thing and rotate it whatever direction you want. And I guess I'm gonna do a time lapse real quick of this project, I guess. So I'll be back. All right, nothing too crazy with the posing because this is just a tutorial, but yeah, so let's say this will be your final pose, and you might be wondering, it looks a little too dark. I think the colors are there, but it's a little too dark. So there's one more step if you want. This is optional. If you go to the add button, you can click on something called create animation set for new light. You click on that, and then you're like, whoa, that's an overexposed light. Yeah. So change this. You click on light 1, then you can go to intensity, and then you can move it up or down. What's also cool about this, if you hold down light and move it to the workspace, you have a camera just for the light, so now you control the light. Well, it's just the light in general, so it would make more sense since, the sun's coming that way and he's reacting that way, to put the light on his right side. Now the image is more clear. Play around with the intensity, see which one I like. All right, so now you're done posing, you're done lighting, you're done whatever with your project. To save it, you go to File, you go to Export, and you go to Poster. Create a file name and choose where you want it to go. Spider-Man Pose 3. You click Save, then you export your poster. Give it a second. Congratulations, you're done with Sourcefilmaker. You created your first 3D project. Now, all that being done, we're gonna move over to Photoshop. All right, so now we are in Photoshop. Find where you put your green screen 3D thumbnail. Next, import your PNG poster you made off Sourcefilmaker. Boom, look at that. Look how sexy that is. Kind of looks like a female. I don't know why, but it's not. I don't. Area looking a little weird, but it's whatever. So boom, import your photo. This isn't just for Photoshop. I think there's other programs out here that are just like Photoshop in every way, so you can follow the same steps in that for like different free versions of something that's Photoshop-esque. So you want to get rid of the green screen background. There's two ways you can do this. At least with Photoshop, there's a button just to remove the background, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. As you can see, what the hell is that? So to like have a good, accurate, removal of the background here, click Select, Color Range, and then this window pops up. Click on the plus icon of this dropper. Click the green background a little bit. Click OK. And then click Select again. Now go to modify, go to expand. By 1 is fine. You click on that. And now we press backspace. And then look at that. Look how clean they got rid of that green background. So now we just have our 3D model here. And this is where you can have fun and just basically make anything you want. It's good to have reference photos before posing, by the way, but I don't use reference photos. I'm just trying to just go with whatever I have in my head. This isn't my map render. This is someone else's that they gave out for free. It's just a practice range. But it just goes to show like how good it looks with a 3D map render. So yeah, that's how you make a Marvel Rivals thumbnail. Pretty simple on Sourcefilmaker. Like I said, you can use this for any game. There's a ton of games with models on the Steam Workshop that's already rigged, and you can use for your other projects for other games. So here's just an example of what you can do with making your own 3D thumbnails. I'm not the best at this. This was like the first one I made. It looks pretty bad. I might change it, but I'm still new to it as well. These are thumbnails for future videos, so you might see these in the future. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff you can make here. Like if you really take your time on it and like make some dynamic poses, it's probably gonna take the longest for it, but it looks good for the most part. It's not Blender, but still does the job pretty right, and I like it. I even use it to make the thumbnail for this video. Pretty simple. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty simple process. I suggest everyone should do this first before jumping into Blender, just to get your hands on with like posing and stuff before jumping into Blender. For like a different, that's more like an advanced version of Sourcefilmaker. It's for the pros. So, and it's like better render and engine process. Oh, that's the biggest difference. The engine. Yeah, Blender has a really good engine processor than Source, but Source is still good. Like it's amazing and it's free. That's the most important part about this. Everything you see here is free besides Photoshop. You have to pay for that. But there's different versions of there's different programs out there that are like Photoshop where you can basically do the same thing. So yeah, this was a different video that I'm not used to making. But I learned this and I wanted y'all to learn this too. So hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. We're on the road to 5,000 subs. Appreciate it if we hit it. Hey, if this video hits 100 likes, I'll make a Marvel Rivals specific render pack so you can use your renders in your thumbnails. I'm not the greatest at it, but I mean it's free. Less work for y'all. So if y'all want to see that, let's get 100 likes. Appreciate it. That'll be the end of today's video. Hope you guys and gals enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe for more. Peace, you peaceful people, and goodbye.